Watsy, just give us your take on the season so far. I know it's almost in the second half of the season, aren't we now? But what's your sort of feelings thus far?
Yeah, it's been a different season to probably what I've witnessed in quite a few years. I don't think I've ever been as down as low as this in table, but it is what it is, and we're working hard in training. And last year's implemented a few new styles for us to try and get down pat. So we're just working hard on them combinations in training. And obviously Riley Dean's coming this week, and obviously he can't play against Warrington, but gives us another option at half back there. Obviously with Gaz going to full back, and now with us losing Macker, it's as looks proper out at the minute. We've not had much this year.
Expectation was pretty high at the start of the year. How frustrating is it that that's just not been realised so far?
On paper, we've got a fantastic team, but me including, I don't think any of us have played to his potential week in, week out. We've had odd spurts of it, so we all know we're all held accountable for his own performances, and we're pretty honest with each other. But like I said, you get the 17 blokes playing well every week. We're in a complete different situation. We've had two or three players playing well week in, and then two or three different ones week after. We've just not had a good, consistent performing team, which has it's been quite tough for us.
Is there any clear reason why?
I've been in this game a long time, mate, and I can't hold my finger to it other than we're just not been consistent enough all as a team. Like I said, nobody goes out there wanting to play bad. Nobody's wanting to go out there. So we're training hard. We're doing everything that's asked of us, and we're probably training harder than what we've ever done under any coach that I've had. Last is really come in and he wants us to be playing as fit and as strong as what we can do. So it might just be a matter of time until something clicks. But like I said, the games are passing us by each week, and luckily for us, obviously Wakefield are in the same sort of position. So we'll just have to keep trying as hard this week in, week out to try and turn things around.
Have you seen enough to be confident enough to say that it's not going to come down to the wire for Cass this year?
Mate, I've seen a lot of stuff in this game. I could not tell you. Hopefully not. Like I said, we've got enough talent in this team to turn anything around and beat anybody on our day. We've shown it in glimpses. We've been in games where it's been a tight fought game, and we've just come out of the other end on wrong end of score sheet. But we need to start creating our own luck. We can't just expect things to fall for us. So it's time that we start making stuff happen for ourselves.
You missed the Salford game, didn't you, with a ban?
Yeah.
I think someone said it was the 9th ban in 18 months. That's
probably about right.
How many of those are a fair cop, or how many of those do you feel you've been fairly unfairly treated?
It's just the way that it is at the minute, mate. The game, innit? All this stuff with the heads and all that. It's just what it is, innit? And I'd seen the game against Bradford, the young kids game. There's 59 penalties in there, and speaking to the academy coaches and just saying the kickoff penalty try, that they didn't even get the ball back. So I don't know which way the game's going with it all. Obviously, first and foremost is people's safety. I'd seen two of the tackles at the weekend where people got dropped on the head. Obviously, that's a given. We don't want that sort of stuff in the game. So it's a fine balance in it. It's a fine margin. I just want to try and play as consistently as I can. And the only way that I can do that is by staying on the pitch.
Well said. You played in the 38-0, didn't you, against Warrington earlier in the season? How sobering was that, and how much do you need to improve against them this week?
Well, I only lasted 5 minutes in that game, and I had to come off my shoulder. I'd done my AC joint, so it was pretty upsetting that. And then literally I was straight to hospital. Thought, wife, she dropped baby. So everything happens for a reason, I suppose. But yeah, it was a very, very tough evening that for us. Conditions were more favourable in theirs, having a big pack, and it was a cold, damp night. So, yeah, they played at the weekend, didn't they? We've had a week to freshen up. So, hopefully, we look like a team that's been freshened up and not played last week. So we'll see how it goes.
Did you say your wife dropped the baby?
Well, she gave birth. Yeah, I won't really say she dropped.
Oh, I thought you meant she'd physically dropped it.
No, she gave birth. So we literally, I left the game, got in the car, and I was straight to the hospital. So I sort of knew that she was in slow labour. So I had that to contend with. Obviously, you don't like. I'm only down the road, so it's not as if like
Yeah.
I were in France or out like that. But yeah, I did my shoulder, and then obviously I had to get straight to the hospital straight after the game.
Well, that's a memorable evening, wasn't it?
It's just a saying that drop the baby.
Yeah, yeah. I understand that now. What do you know what you're doing next year, Watsy, yet?
No, not yet.
Do you want to play on?
Yeah, definitely want to play on. My first and foremost is obviously to try and sort a deal out here at Castleford. Obviously, it's my own town club, and I've been here for the last 6 years now, and I just need to do myself a bit of justice and obviously repay that faith that the club's given me. Whether they want to do that, I don't know. And probably see what comes. But like I said, it just comes back down to me. I just want to play. I'm not. I've been thinking about it day and night, losing sleepless nights of what I'm going to do and where I'm going to be. But I've just put them to the back of my mind now, and I just want to enjoy playing. We're halfway through the season now, so I've got a good few games to put my best foot forward. So that's all I want to do.
I think you've always said you don't want to play a season too long, but you still feel there's life in the old dog yet.
Yeah, like I said, it just comes down to the bans that I've had, and that sort of stuff. It's just really upset my game and how I play. But end of the day, the game's changing. So I've had these conversations. Obviously, we've had this previously, and just got to change with the game and start being subtle about it, but not lose that edge. There's a fine margin of having that edge, and I think slowly over the last up to me doing my shoulder, like the last 4 or 5 games, I've sort of been getting into a groove where I'm sort of playing it all right. So just see how it goes.
It must be really hard when you've played the game, you've been taught to play the game a certain way your entire life, to then be told you've got to play it differently. And it's not just you. There are a lot of people in your age group who have been exactly the same. But do you get frustrated? Effectively having to retrain yourself, and it's muscle memory almost to a degree, isn't it? A lot of it.
Yeah, it's the mind, and it's what's instilled from a young age. Obviously, you play a certain way for 15, 16 years, and then they just expect it to be completely just abolished. Don't get me wrong, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of them things, isn't it? But there's a reason why they're doing it. I completely understand the reason why they're doing it. Obviously, player safety and all that sort of stuff. But there's an element that people that watch the game and play the game there's a certain way that the game's played and why fans watch it. So everybody that I speak to and every comment that I see on that RFL disciplinary every week, it's do you know what I mean? It speaks for itself, doesn't it? Obviously, the last thing I want to see is the game losing fans because of all the stuff that's going off at the minute with it.
I know that as well, the whole off contract thing. I saw in the minutes last night that Hull put out Josh Griffin and say, one of their things with his off contract, he needs to play to earn a deal. And I suppose that must be hard for you as well, going into games knowing you can't really afford to get back because it's one less or however many less opportunities for you to prove that you're worth a deal, whether it be here or wherever else. That must be difficult.
Yeah, it is, mate. And teams now they're not carrying bigger squads. The squads are getting smaller. The funding's getting less. Obviously, teams are wanting to spend less money on the cap because obviously they don't know what's happening with the TV deal. So you're more or less forced into a funnel where you're getting a load of lads that are probably coming up to retirement age, probably 33, 34, 35, 36, wherever it may be. And do you know what I mean? You're left on the edge hanging. It's not a nice predicament to be in at all. But that's just the way that the game is, isn't it? It chews you up and spits you out. So I feel for Josh Griffin. Obviously, he's playing for a contract as well, and now he's going to miss 7 games. It's crazy, but what can you do? That's the disciplinary for you. That's that's how it's rolled, and that's what you've got to deal with.
You mentioned you're not sure where Casa are at the minute. Would you be willing to move further afield, or would you rather stay local? Would you go part-time, play championship if that came to it? Have you given it that much thought yet or not?
Mate, like I said, I was having sleepless nights trying to wrap my brain on which way I wanted to go with it. But like I've just completely put that to the back of my mind, and there's opportunities going to be out there in there regardless of where I'm going to be. So I just want to play well. Obviously, I'm still contracted to Cass, and I want to. This is where I want to finish and play well. And like I said, if I have to finish my time here and go elsewhere, then I just hope that the last remaining games that I do myself justice and finish on a high. That's my first and foremost priority at the minute.
Yeah, you said in the off season that all the little bands were taking the love out of the game for you, and you obviously had 3 more this season. Where are you at mentally with all that?
It's hard, mate. It's tough. It is really hard. The game that I grew up watching, the likes of Adrian Morleys and Jamie Peacocks and Jimmy Lowe's and all them sorts of players, it's, do you know what I mean? It does get frustrating, but like I said, it's the times are changing out there. That we're living in a generation now where we're not the same breed of people that we used to be. So it is disheartening, but that's just the way that the cookie's seeming to crumble at the minute, and you just got to get on with it, haven't we? And we're here to do a job, and that's all that matters to obviously the club and to the fans. Is you just got to go with the times, haven't you? And got to go with the change.
So you're just playing in the wrong era then, basically. You'd have loved it, wouldn't you, at the start of the Super League?
Yeah, probably, mate. Don't get me wrong. I still love the game. I still watch the game and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I still want to play and carry on. I've just got to get in the right frame of mind of what I can and can't do anymore.
Yeah. You worked on your technique, didn't you, quite a lot during the off season? Is it frustrating that you're still getting pinged for these things?
Yeah, do you know what it is, mate? I've said it from the start. It's a fine balance. It's a millisecond. It's a mentality that's been driven into you. You still see stuff that's going off today that don't get brought up, that don't get mentioned. But like I said, I just seem to be in the spotlight 24/7 with it.
Yeah. Do you think your reputation goes before you?
Yeah, like I said, I shouldn't do, but I do read the comments every now and again, and they put dangerous contact on there, and people just automatically think that I've just whacked somebody in back. But do you know what I mean? It's not like that. There's all sorts of different types of dangerous contracts. I got done for falling on back of somebody's leg, which was just a tackle that couldn't be helped. It's classed as dangerous contact. I've seen that tackle 1,000 times. You know what I mean? And I've had it done to myself, and it's just rugby league. It's just, you know what I mean? We're 17 stone blokes that are trying to tackle somebody, and obviously if they're bringing this in with the armpit, hitting underneath the armpit and lowering your body position, you're going to end up tackling around the legs anyway. So it's just dog eat dog. It's a catch-22 really in my eyes.
Yeah, because I think you called them crappy little bands, didn't you, in the off season? And they're just 1-game bands and grade Bs out there, so it's not like you're going around smashing people, is it?
They bring the fine system in to obviously fine us, but because of my previous record, I don't get fined. I still get banned because I get the top end of the ban every time, so I'm still getting banned.
Yeah, and then other people are getting well, I don't know if they're getting away with fines, but
yeah, they're getting 250 or whatever they're getting. But like I said, they brought all the fine stuff in. But I still seem to be picking up bans.
And it's obviously been 3 games since your last game. Are you determined to make sure you don't miss any more games now through suspension?
Yeah, I'm just trying to play as clean as possible and without being too soft, if you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Still got to have that sort of edge physically, and just trying to keep on the front foot. We haven't got the biggest pack, so I've got to try and play with some sort of aggression and some sort of size about me and put it to good use. So I am trying. I am doing everything possible that I can in training, and like I said, I am doing stuff in training to try and cut out those little bit of errors in my game. But it's tough. It's a fast physical sport. Sometimes it's hard to try and fully eradicate it.